This podcast is not affiliated with any Grand Lodge, and the ridiculous antics and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own. Should be dismissed immediately.
Will that work? Shh. We're recording. Quiet. This is a very special intro to Season 3.
Oh, yeah, it is Season 3.
We are in Season 3.
Woo!
So thanks
Season 3.
Thanks for joining us for a third year. Can't believe we're still here.
I can't.
So anyways, Season 3, Episode 1.
Just as bald as ever.
Happy New Year.
Half the room.
Yeah, the cool side is bald.
Feels good to have hair.
So we figured a season opener, it would be great to have Brother Tyson and Brother Kalian on. This is a very unique mentor-mentee duo.
They're very unique.
Yeah. And we'll get into why and how.
Sure.
First thing, our show sponsors: Homeward Handyman Services, the Insurance Center, Corporal Dagan Page Foundation, our Patreon supporters. More support than a jockstrap.
Wow. What a way to
Wait
start.
for it.
Yeah, no.
Oh, and Mason Gear Shop.
Yes.
Who am I missing? That's it. I think I got them all.
That's it.
I've only done this 54 times at least. All right, so what have we been up to? Kayleen, let's start. What have you been up to the last couple weeks, man?
I've been...
Well, hang on. Let's start off. Introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone worldwide. This is Kalian Saran. I'm here with my brothers. Studio 357, Masonic Podcast. And I'm really just here to spend some time and learn from you guys. And I've learned a lot already, it's like a family.
It is.
Yeah.
So you're
With that voice, I thought he was going to say, I'm just here to spin some tunes for you.
I can do that too.
you really
Yeah,
are
we
old, aren't you,
can-
Jim? So, Kayleen, you are a fellow craft mason at Beehive Lodge, our lodge in Omaha, and you've been being mentored by this guy who started mentoring you when you were still being mentored, correct?
Yes, I was a fellow craft, and Kayleen was an entered apprentice. It's quite an unusual setup, I think, for any mentor-mentee relationship within the District of Nebraska. Typically, it would be a master mason to a candidate, and then through it. But the opportunity came up, and I said, "Yeah, I'll do it."
And you are?
My name is Tyson Rose, and I became a Master Mason with Beehive Lodge 184, December 12th, 2024. And I always remember that date, because it's 12/12/24. Pretty easy. That's why I picked that date.
Nice. And you very quickly volunteered to step into line at an accelerated rate.
I have, with Masonry, there's all different things that brought me into the craft, that made me interested in the craft. I can think of 3 different points, and I got a story to tell and a quick shout out. The 3 points that brought me into Freemasonry, one was the self-improvement, and that's where the mentoring came in. That utilized some of my strengths. I love teaching, but I also have the humility to understand that I'm always the student. In Masonry, you have all kinds of opportunity. You have memorization, you got ritual, you got leadership opportunities, you got charity opportunities, stagecraft, acting, public speaking, all different kinds of things. You have so many different things to learn. You just have to seek them out. They're not going to be handed to you on a silver platter. The second reason brought me to Masonry was the principle in Masonry of leaving politics and religion out of it. Because I have my own beliefs, and so as I do believe in God, but it's might not sit well with many denominations, but it is what it is. And the third reason is the fellowship, and it was the main reason. And the reason why it was the main reason was because as I'm getting older, I'm not going to date myself too much, but I'm in my 40s.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Barely.
I'm in my 40s.
You get this idea, you're in with social media and just our current situation. I've just become very cynical, and I don't really give trust to people anymore. And but I did realize I needed to reach out to someone to develop a fellowship, a type of connection, because I was looking for that, because I was basically a hermit for 20 plus years. And the story is that the thing I learned, where I first learned about Freemasonry, was in the 1980s. I was a prolific reader, still am to this day. And I knew everything about Freemasonry from the tabloids standing in the grocery aisle. What was it? The Sun? What was it? The
Inquirer?
Yeah, the Inquirer.
Yeah, National Enquirer.
And I have to be really thankful to my mother because she saw me reading those. And she goes, all that's BS, right? She goes, that's all sensationalism. And right then and there in the grocery aisle, I was taught how to have a critical mind and not understand that everything that you read is accurate and true. And I've always had that in the back of my mind. And that's what caused me to knock. And then the real shout out goes to, I don't know if he's still part of the craft, but I still want to give him a shout out to him, his brother Brian Dugan. He was an Irishman. He's now naturalized to the United States. He's moved off to Arizona, but he's still friends with me, and I wanted to give him a special shout out. I was reintroduced to the craft when he got into Freemasonry. Got a tattoo on his right wrist of the square and compass. And I asked about it, and then we started talking about Freemasonry, and he was like, you know what, you'd be a good Freemason. You have a critical mind, and you debate, but you do it all respectfully. And at the end of the day, we clink our glasses together in fellowship. And he goes, but at the time, this was probably 2011, 2012. I was like, I wanted to try to climb the corporate ladder, even though I found out that wasn't the route for me. But I was like, you know what, I just don't have the time. And he was like, you know what, I can respect that. But when I found the time, I was like, here I am.
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't want to skip over on that really powerful, what you said, is what I feel strongly is one of the calling cards. One of the things that our society needs right now is the idea that we've got a whole lot of people that are cynical at the world, that can't trust anybody, can't trust anything, and are looking for some place to fit in and not listen to the political garbage. And I'm not pointing to one side or the other. It's garbage coming from both sides.
Yeah.
And religious garbage. There's a lot of that floating around too. So that's one of my biggest draws, and I think one of our biggest opportunities in society now is that's what we're about. We are about the brotherhood without the political and religious garbage. There is morality, and we're all religious at some level, but your religion does not affect my religion. Your politics does not affect my politics.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I love that statement.
Religion and politics are the two greatest wedges that drive between people by the powers that be, whatever that is. And in this day and age, it's tribalism. People are like, it's almost like root for your own sports team, whether if it's left or the right. I would say, hey, there's an alternative. There's a third alternative, and that is root for neither, and try to connect people on the basics, on morality and charity and fellowship, in trying to understand each individual as they are from their perspective.
Or maybe not even root for neither, root for us.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
That's true.
It seems to be that when it's coming to that tribalism, it's our team versus your team. How about all of us just be a team?
Yeah.
You know, find that commonality, and that's what Masonry's been doing for hundreds of years.
On that note, let's go back to the beginning of the show. And Tyson, what have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
I've been practicing the question and answers for the Fellowcraft degree that's coming up on the 22nd, and I've memorized them, but I haven't practiced it in a while. So I started practice a couple of days ago. I'm continuing my development on every single part of opening and closing for all 3 degrees. So the only thing that I have left to memorize really is the Master Mason closing, and then I think that's about it from a Masonic standpoint. Just getting ready for the 22nd, and then and presenting.
Awesome. I've been up to putting offers in on acreages and getting outbid. Not because I'm cheap. I even offered up to $15,000 over asking price and got outbid. So it's a tough market right now.
Market.
It is.
What about you, Jim?
Well, it is installation season in Nebraska.
Oh, wait. I opened my last meeting. No, I didn't. I have to open installation. I opened my last business meeting and closed it.
So I've been attending installation after installation after installation. My first installation for the season I actually got to partake in, so now I am the junior warden at Nebraska Lodge number 1.
Congratulations.
Nice, congrats.
And the crowd goes, whoa.
Whoa. And then I've been attending various, in fact, right before this, I got to attend the installation at Mitzpah. Congratulations to those brothers. It was a wonderful ceremony. And I'm looking forward to next week, where we get to do the same thing at Beehive. What else? Oh, I've been working on, I actually think I can confer an EA now. So,
Nice.
Really?
So I'll be ready for that. We're going to start our practices this week with opening and closing. So I'm thinking that both the lodges that I'm in will be proficient very soon.
Jason, lean in here and tell us what you've been up to.
Not a whole lot Masonically, other than finally attending lodge for the first time in a while. Kind of slacking there.
Who are you?
Sitting in as Who am I?
Yeah.
My name's George.
I thought I saw you at lodge the other night. I was wondering who that was.
Getting ready for the installation next week, and other than that, not a whole lot.
Do you have a position next year?
I am doing. What am I doing? I'm drawing a blank here.
You're doing something.
Marshal. Yes. Marshal. I'm gonna do Marshal this time.
I'll shoot spitballs at you from the chaplain's chair.
It's all right.
You'll just catch them and eat them.
Or use a baton and bat them away.
It's like batting practice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And he's off camera, but our producer is, well, there's his hand.
Shout out to Heath.
Shout out to Heath, the elected worshipful master. And we also have another brother from Lodge, Morgan, who's back from, that's Morgan's hand. Are you wearing a wedding ring?
Huh?
Are you wearing a wedding ring?
Yeah.
Okay, apparently we have to have a conversation.
We'll have to have a break here pretty soon. We've got some breaking news.
Morgan has been deployed to a certain border of the United States for over a year, and he's finally back, so we're glad to have him. Jumping right back into chairs in the lodge. He is our senior deacon-elect, I believe. I think I got that right. Neither one of them are paying attention, so we're going to move on.
You would not have that. It would be senior deacon committed. He
Committed.
wasn't elected.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Elected,
appointed.
yeah.
Yeah, appointed.
Thank you for the correction there,
Committed, yeah,
Jim.
they're not elected.
I'm not too smart.
Oh no, I'll correct that. No, you are.
No, I'm more of a street smart kind of guy. Like when it comes to actual things, I can fix anything. When it comes to actual remembering things, yeah, I'm garbage. Awful, even.
Anyway.
So, Kaylee, these first few questions are for you and only you and only you. So,
okay.
What does Freemasonry mean to you so far?
To me, Freemasonry is the development of what it means to be a man, you know, like to have purpose and to develop that amongst others who are also purpose driven, coming from different tribes with one commonality, to have peace and look out for one another. Masonry so far has been an amazing experience, because for Tyson and Joe and Jim and Jason to take the time to teach me what they know and answer my questions, because I'm a very curious person. You know, they didn't know me, but from our interaction, it was, okay, we see something in you, and we see that the potential. And I really do appreciate y'all just allow me to come in and be a part of this this beautiful community.
Well, I think from when you were initiated, you've been at numerous lodge functions and our camp out trips and barbecues and stuff, and then we don't just see an entered apprentice. We see a brother. So, and I'm glad you come to all those things. You really, besides livening up the place, you're always looking fresh, my man. Always.
Thank you. Thank you for letting me be me. Just being me. I said, hey, I'm be on TV. I better. This is a once in a lifetime chance. You know,
threads on.
This is worldwide. This is everybody.
And was pointed out before the camera started rolling. You have such a positive energy.
Yeah.
Every time you're around, you just the room lights up because you just glow when you walk in. You're loving life, and that is infectious.
And actually, that compliment to you came from a guy who just met you for the second time tonight.
Yep.
I don't know if you realize that. He met you for 45 minutes on Thursday and met you right now and complimented you on how you approach a room.
Yep.
That speaks volumes about who you are.
It speaks volumes about Masonry, too.
Amen.
Yes. I just said, Hunter, he seems like a great guy. You know, like he's a great guy. It was like you just know when you meet a great guy, right?
Yep.
So
Hunter is our new prospective candidate, I would say.
But we'll see.
He's a good guy. I like him.
What originally drew you to the craft?
Well, it's a long story. Since I was a child, I've ran into different men who stood out from the rest of the men that I grew up around in my culture. Mr. Stevenson, a barber, had his own shop, and I just remember being taken there. My mother would take me to get my hair cut, and he would talk to me and tell me he was a Mason. I didn't understand it, what he was, but he would tell me how he loved owning his shop and working for himself, and nobody could tell him how to do his business, how to cut hair, how to run anything. And that to him just made him feel really free and, good, and gave him purpose. And so it was him. It was my uncle who's also a Mason, and him being a family man and having the best lawn in Forest Park, Ohio. His lawn just, he has awards for having the best garden, really? best lawn, and just that stood out. And then in the military, my chief warrant officer McBride, he was a Mason, and just seeing his leadership and how he conducted his business amongst the other guys and all of us, and just really stood out to me, and it made me curious. And so once I came to Nebraska, I just, I was trying to find my way around, like new kid on the block, and saw this temple, and it said masonry, and I was like, I'm gonna check this out. I'm not gonna be afraid to step out of my comfort zone. I'm gonna see what this is about, so I know for myself, because some people say this or that. There are mixed opinions, and I wanted to know the truth for myself. And it really just led me to a place where everybody was welcoming and told me where to go, who to talk to, and I just said, I'm gonna give it a shot.
And you literally did. You literally just strolled in the doors, right?
Yeah.
You just kind of walked in one day and said, "Hey."
I just walked. It was walking distance from where I live. I was like, I'm gonna walk into this Scottish Rite and see what everybody's doing here. I don't know what for, but also just having a feel like I'm a very faith. I have in my faith. I have a lot of faith in God, and I just believe that I've been driven to go here, to go there, in my whole life story. So the urge or the drive to improve, has brought me here. And I met Tyson, didn't know me from which way or another. You would think he's been mentoring people for at least 10 years, So I like to toot Tyson's horn because he's very intelligent. I think he's a genius,
Thanks,
stuff.
Keelan. I appreciate that.
I mean, what he's taught me in a short amount of time.
Just blow up my ego.
Maybe that's why I admire. Maybe that 20 years as a hermit, prepared you for your job in masonry. Because
Kaylee, slow down. We don't have big enough headphones to fit his head anymore.
Right?
I just gotta tell, hey, you should.
You make the joke about him literally walking in, but honestly, when it comes to masonry, that's what we all do, even metaphorically. That we're supposed to be knocking on that door. The fact that it was a physical act. I think I'm picturing it from a mentor standpoint. I'm guessing that Tyson feels the same way, and that he can see in you himself that knocking on the door. Maybe it wasn't physical, but that the idea of knocking on the door probably drew you in a little bit.
Yeah, actually, we were very similar in that aspect with Beehive. I just I went to the Grand Lodge of Nebraska page, reached out to them, and then they referred me to Beehive 184, and that was my first lodge. I went and I met Joe, Jason, and Heath, and Dave. Yep, and those were the initial, interview, kind of get to know you type of thing. And I came in with just, you're gonna get me. I'm just gonna take this mask off, and you're gonna see me for who I am.
And I would think that most of us have, a good percentage of us have that same story. So for those that are listening, if you're pausing and that you haven't made that knock on the door yet, nobody's going to do it for you. But there's a lot of us on this side that we all went through in some way or another, went through that same step. We had to knock on the door. So here's your opportunity. I can't emphasize that strongly enough.
Well, I want to say something quick before Jason hits the next question. You said something on Thursday night to our potential candidate. If there's something holding you up that you're just not quite sure, you're not sure you're getting a straight answer, try it. If something doesn't align with your faith or what you think it was going to be or whatever, quit coming. It's that easy.
Yeah, the one thing that we do not do is we're not forcing you to do anything.
Absolutely not.
And if it's not going to work out for you, that's fine. We're not going to, at the same token, we're not going to talk you into it because we're not forcing anything. It's got to be your choice. But if your choice is no, that's one of the strongest things about masonry. It's got to be your choice.
Yeah.
The decision has to be made in your heart.
Yeah, and same way with coming back. If some guys have demitted. If you're thinking about coming back, just do. If you're ready, you're genuinely ready, just do it.
We miss you, but we can't force any of it.
Yeah, we can suggest, but that's you got to walk through the door.
Right.
So.
Kayleen, what strengths are you developing?
I'm developing my social skills because, especially in this day and age with the digitization and social media, I think a lot of people have become more introverted. And I growing up in the 90s and just kind of introverted personality, and so this is helping me to communicate, amongst peers, people from different walks of life, see different perspectives, and that has improved my whole life, just outlook. And even in school, like, I see everything that I've learned and that I'm learning translating in school, in work, and just my daily life and routine. Tyson's a proficient reader, and I said, hey, like, how do I become a proficient reader? How do I, store that information and get used to that? And he shared that with me. He was just telling me, you just practice and, do this, do that. And, I'm like, okay, it was kind of hard at first, but if you really want to develop and change, Masonry can help you do that. You just have to be willing. And I was willing. So that's becoming stronger. I still have I'm not perfect, and you're not going to be perfect, coming into this. Don't expect to come out of this a completely perfect man. I think we come together and we accept our imperfections. Mm-hmm. We accept each other's imperfections and try to work on our strengths, and and understand, seeing our weaknesses. Okay, I'm weak here. Let me hear what a brother has to say about this situation. I'm going through something. What does my brother say about it? If he were in my shoes, what would he do? And that means all the world.
Well, not just accepting our weaknesses, we're working on them together.
Absolutely.
You're working on your weaknesses, and we're helping you with that, and you're doing the same thing for us. That's the whole idea. That's the whole purpose of this, is that we're working mm-hmm. to make each other better.
And I think that, and I'll give a quick all to Kayleen's horn. He puts in the work. Just the effort alone is enough. I heard this saying that I think of Kaylin every time I hear it, is that Freemasonry is not the priority, but it is a priority. Mm-hmm. And you have to put in the time and the work. You hear other cliches like you get in what you put out. And it makes sense to me now, but for folks that have heard that and are like, I'm not really sure what that means, you show up. You ask how you can help. You ask, how can I develop myself?
You work on the ritual.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And Kaylin has done all that, and he's there he's like, hey, I want to develop this and this, and he's got an idea of where he wants to go.
Cool.
And not to say that you would need Masonry to do that, to make those changes, but certainly having the support system and some of the tools,
it helps,
makes that a lot easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right, so I was going to ask you question number 4, which is what challenges are you working on, but that's kind of the same as the last question, so we're just going to skip that. But I want to know, how are you applying Masonic principles outside of the lodge?
And how I respect others. So at school, as a communications major, you deal with a lot of people with different political views, and it's no matter how you try to escape it, but sometimes you may run into confrontation with someone, and I'm able to look at things more critically, and take what I've learned about honor and impart that to someone else or to the situation. Like this, if I go this way, if I react in this way, it will be consequences, and that will defame my honor. That wouldn't be a good look on Masonry, because I know better now. When you know better, you can do better. Also, just it's Masonry has sparked a lot of different interests, confidence for one, to start doing martial arts again, and putting that in Masonry, and about having honor, and having a great character. All these are kind of like tying in. I'm seeing Masonry, just the benefit and the effects of Masonry, just all around, really. Even how I deal with just my day. I'm like, I'm gonna practice. I'm gonna listen to this recording or about my Master Mason degree. I'm gonna listen to. I go back and I listen to Inner Apprentice. I practice. I'm like, I want to learn. I want to still keep this stuff fresh in my mind, because your mind is it's the greatest. It's the greatest organ that you have, and if you feed it what it needs, there's nothing you can't do.
That sounds like a way to finish the show.
Right.
I know, right?
The last question.
Right.
I think let's take a quick break so I can unwind my mind. You got a buttery voice too, by the way, man. Anyways, we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna hear from some sponsors, and we'll be back before you know
You
it.
should have had him use that voice to send us out into the community.
Yeah, send us out.
We're going to
James.
hear from some sponsors.
This is the Studio 357. We will be back with more excellent conversation.
Demonstrate that love never ends through the commitment to support past and present service members, the communities that surround them, and the loved ones of those whom we will never forget. Visit deganpage.org for more information.
That was an interesting break.
Yeah. And we can't talk
found
about
out-
it. We can't talk about it.
Well, we're going to talk about it.
Oh, I don't think. I think it was a secret.
He's wearing the freaking ring.
He gave us a thumbs up to talk about
Yeah.
it. So
So,
All right.
Brother Morgan, appointed senior deacon at Beehive Lodge number 184, Ancient Friendship of Masons, Omaha, Nebraska, has been married for a significant amount of time without telling me. You kind of in the shit house now, boy. All right, so
I don't think he seems to care.
no, he doesn't. He's known me since he was about yay big. Just a wee little fucker.
Wow.
Hey, shatters me Lucky Charms. Now he's like 8 feet tall. Looks like he could be a lineman for a pro NFL team.
As opposed
Maybe
to a
not.
non-pro NFL team.
Right.
Just checking.
Semi-pro AFL.
Canadian
Is that a
Football
thing?
League.
it is Arena Football League. You're good.
Look at that. I sounded like I almost knew what I was talking about. Sports, yay.
Go team. Go team.
If it doesn't have an engine, I don't really ever care.
Yay, fumble.
Did he hit a touchdown? Okay, sorry.
We get it back on the rails, Joe. Back on the
Back
rails.
on the rails. Jim, bring us in with the next question.
So I'm curious, Kalian, at your stage, how do you feel somebody, fellow craft area, has been at it a little while but hasn't quite reached there? How can you or someone at your level contribute to the lodge?
Well, just be there in the space with him to answer any questions he has, tell them about my experience when I was in his position. It's really, as I was told, it's a journey, a unique path. Each person has a unique journey and a unique path in Masonry. So there's no rush. I would tell them, don't rush. Take your time, figure out your life, set your business in order, and just allow the process to unfold, because it's not about coming in and just rushing and being the quickest and the swiftest and the fastest and the strongest. You know, it's not even about that, because I feel like that's just, when it gets that, then it's all about ego, and you know, and that can really stunt your growth and your development process. You know, so I just tell them, hey, we're here, I'm here. If you need anything to really understand, you know, if you're having concerns, you know, you have the space to come and talk to me. And that really will give him the comfort, you know, to say, hey, you know, I may not be moving as quickly as others, you know, I may not be as smart as others or this or that, but I'm gonna take my time in this craft. You know, I'm gonna actually digest what I learn. I'm actually gonna learn the positions of the officers. You know, I'm gonna learn each position. I'm gonna learn who is who, you know, what lodge, you know, just figure it out in your own time. You know, there's no rush, no pressure. And I'm just saying that to him because that's how my mentor dealt with me.
Is there any bit of advice, anything that you can think of that you weren't told that you would like to pass on?
That Worshipful Brother Joe was the best master he's had this year.
Any truthful advice that you would be wanting to give to somebody?
That was awesome.
I would truthfully, I would say number one, number one is to be a Mason. You have to believe in God, you know. And I would just tell him to, you know, have God first in your life, you know. And if you have your own personal relationship with God, that to me is the root. You know, if you're rooted in that, there's nothing that can really shake you, you know. And
Here.
yeah,
Awesome.
Very wise words.
Very good.
I think that whole response to that question should linger in the minds of every man. Not even just Masons, but every man.
yeah.
Well said.
Well, and as an aside, he stuttered and stammered coming up with something to think of that he hadn't been told, which goes to his mentor.
Yep.
Making sure that he was prepared and that he had to think of something that he wasn't told. So that kind of answers that.
But in my opinion, so as I sat master this year, again, as you mentioned, like there's no pressure. Sometimes we're like, hey man, can we hurry this guy up a little bit? He's taking too long. But 100% full confidence that you are getting exactly what you need out of Masonry when you need it.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen you grow. I mean, you came to us as a potential candidate, almost afraid to speak. You know, I mean, you fell all over yourself trying to get words out, and now look at you. Like,
he's smooth as butter.
he's going to take my job.
No, hey, it's I'm thankful. You know, I'm thankful to be here. Really, everyone has has their own flavoring to add to this whole great what we call Masonry. You know, so I'm excited that we are getting more people, you know, rushing in, more young men, you know, people who want difference, they want change, and they want a better understanding of who they are, you know, what we're doing here. And you can't just be here living on this earth as just an individual. You need others to support. You know, that is how we thrive and live as society.
Yeah, humans were typically communal. You know, we'd hunt in tribes, and then that developed all the way into civilizations. And so we always have that desire to be communal. It's just we don't know how. And so Masonry provides an outlet to be communal and to be together and work together as a team and achieve objectives and overcome obstacles.
That is one thing. I'll jump in before Jason asks another question here again. I'll make that a habit. It's whatever. It's my show. I'll do what I
that
want.
Might be just like a cue. It's like, hey, dummy, wake up, pay attention. You're next. Is that what we're doing here?
No, but no, I think. Oh, never mind. I forgot what I was going to say.
Is that my fault? All right.
Can we rewind and go back to the place where Joe was talking about how street smart he was? And
This is not a fight or flight situation.
oh, okay.
All right, Kayleen, what helps you stay motivated and involved?
Really, seeing your efforts and what you've accomplished in life. So, Joe, this beautiful house, this lovely podcast, it's just seeing you do these things, you know, coming from where you come from, you know, and you want to share the good news of Masonry. I think that keeps me motivated and like, wow, like this guy, you know, these guys, they're going somewhere, you know, they're really on the mark.
Heath, do we have bigger headsets for Joe?
Well, don't forget Tyson, too. We might be running
We
out
put
of
a
the
kibosh to Tyson's, but the guy running the podcast is just going to let this keep going.
I'm not saying a word.
I noticed.
No. So as you were saying, James,
I'm saying, I'm just saying, you know, I'm military. There's a few other military guys here. Military guys got to work together. We just got to stick together. We got to work together. And Masonry has helped a lot of military.
it has. It gives former military guys that brotherhood they were searching for.
And to be honest, to his point, not necessarily Joe, but all of it, we all have those examples that we look to. In our lodge, there are people that you look to them and you go, man, I want to emulate that.
Yeah,
That's right.
There's good Mason, and I can think of guys. I'm thinking of somebody right in my head right now that's not even in my lodge. He's in a different lodge, and every time I'm around that guy, it's like, man, I wish I could be like him.
Yeah, and it's not like a jealousy thing. It's just simply seeing the greater qualities in a human being and wanting to say, hey, how can I apply this and take this, what this person did, and use it in my life to progress, you know, because I'm here to develop my character, you know, therefore I can leave something on this earth that's meaningful to the next generation, you know, because they're needing help. And I was like, if I don't help myself, it starts with helping yourself and doing what's right for you, then I can't help anyone else.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Man, you're a wise man.
I think
It's
I'm
my turn.
starstruck here.
Did you go,
No.
Jason?
I went. Yeah, I'm the one that asked the question. Where are you at? You're on number 8.
I forgot everything after he mentioned something about how good I was.
You just got all baffled.
I
He got
did.
you all
Can
shook
we
up, didn't he?
rewind and go back to where Joe said?
Well, I've never heard that before.
The eagle was fed.
Okay, so
So that means Joe's going to be rewinding that and listening to it again.
oh, it's going to be on repeat. Just that clip. It's going to be a soundbite. So, last question for you, Kayleen, before we start interrogating Tyson, is how has your perspective changed? I'm even going to go deeper. So, how's your perspective changed on your life since joining?
My perspective has changed as becoming more humble and understanding that I don't have all the answers. And I don't have to do things on my own. You're not alone in this world, you know, so also trying to become a better listener, you know, more empathetic, more concerning, you know, just as Tyson mentioned, being a teacher and a learner, you know, never once thinking I'm just the teacher, I'm the head man in charge, you know, and I gotta have it right every single time. It's like, no, I can pick up advice and helpful tools from everyday people each and every day. So I definitely don't judge people as much as I used to, and that's changed my perspective a whole lot.
Excellent.
All right, I'm not going to read that one. I want to dig in, Tyson, into the mentor mentee relationship a little bit.
Sure.
And I kind of a couple of questions. What were your feelings when you first took on that role? Was that something that you wanted to do / you were hesitant? And from there to then, has it changed? Do you feel differently about being a mentor as opposed to when you started?
It has changed. At first and foremost, when I was a fellowcraft mentoring Kalian, I understood that I was not the subject matter expert. And so with Kalian, I told him it's okay to say, I don't know, and let's find out together. So if he had a question, I wouldn't be able to answer it right away sometimes, and say, let's reflect on that and let's come back to it, you know, when we have our next meeting. With Kayleen, we would meet every 2 weeks, and we would spend upwards to 2, 3. There were even times we spent 4 hours together because we would be lost in conversation, because I didn't really form my mentorship under a very rigid guideline. I just said, okay, let's come at it together. We are walking this road together. And at the end of the day, I hope to evolve away from a mentee-mentor relationship into a true friendship.
Nice.
Very cool.
All right. What does brotherhood mean to you?
Time. It's showing up. That's brotherhood. Right then and there. Face to face, you and me. That's it. We'll, you know, we may agree to disagree on things, and we may agree on things, but at the end of the day, I still shake your hand. I still give you a hug, and I still say, I'm glad to see you, my brother. That's what brotherhood means to me.
Awesome.
All right.
It's powerful.
Go a little bit deeper with this one. What does integrity look like in daily life?
Ooh, integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking. But now in this day and age, we have cameras.
Everyone's
Do
looking.
the right thing because everyone is looking. And so, at times it hurts, right? There could be, you know, in my experience, there could be times where it might have interfered with any professional or basically, you know, career growth, because my integrity was so important. But it was important to me. And that's, you know, and I look to, you know, one of my favorite, he's not a Mason, but one of my favorite examples of integrity is John Adams. You know, at the time, there was a lot of heated debate, a lot of emotions, and this man became a lawyer for the soldiers that were involved in the Boston Massacre. And a lot of them were, you know, a lot of them were pretty much innocent. And what happened is that he gave them a fair trial, even though a fair trial wasn't due. And with that in mind, it's like, yeah, sometimes you have to take that high road and it hurts.
It's pretty deep. How are you balancing lodge, family, school / work and life?
Well, lodge for me is I work on it quite a bit because I have quite a bit of time on my hands. But I definitely one of the points that I tell Kalian is that if you have something that's more important, whether if it's your faith, your family, your job, your school, that comes before Masonry. Because if you accomplish those things, you can take those values and experiences and bring it to Masonry. And then you can be able to teach people. And so when you are able to prioritize things and know that prioritization, I know in Beehive Lodge 184, and probably Greater Masonry, all your faith and family, your job always comes first. Always comes first over Masonry.
And that's actually something we believe and are taught. So it's not a controversial statement. If you're somebody that's not a Mason going, oh, did he just say there's some things that are more important than Masonry? Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You bet your sweet bippy.
And so it's I have a, I do dedicate a little bit more time to the craft because I'm the education officer. Regrettably, I'll probably have to offload that next year if I'm elected master. It'd just be kind of weird that your master be doing the education and the master at the same time.
Wait a minute, are we voting on him for master?
No, not yet. I have to be senior warden first, and I haven't done that yet.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but however, I do love spending time dedicated to the craft because I learned, as I was telling Kalian, when I was doing the ritual, when I was memorizing the ritual, I was telling him it's kind of like the martial arts of the mind, right? In memorization, and it's something that's hard to do, but once you learn it, you feel the impact of it right away.
Mm. Again, it's going back to what you were talking about earlier about putting in the work. Mm-hmm. It's a combination, to me, in my opinion, it's a combination of the value in putting the work and the work ethic and the actual work.
Oh, $5 in the jukebox.
Oh, no. Cut.
It's a combination of the putting in the work, the value of that, and the value of the actual work and what you learn.
Mm-hmm. Because you don't always like it.
Yep.
Sometimes it's hard, but if you have the idea of, hey, this is a journey, and there are going to be some times when you take steps when you don't want to, you have to progress forward even though you don't want to, but you keep moving forward. One of my favorite sayings is that the hardest step that a man can take is the next one.
Well, and to add to that a little bit, we hear a lot of conversation about a lost work ethic, and I think it's less about the work ethic being lost and more about the lesson of what that work, the value of that work, and the feeling you get from performing that work. Mm-hmm. And I'm not just talking about masonry. I'm talking about anything in life that you've put in an inordinate amount of time and effort, and then you finally hit that pinnacle, that feeling that I accomplished that, that's mine, you can't take that away from me.
Exactly.
And it we see it all over in masonry. Mm-hmm. The learning the ritual, we're not necessarily in being an officer and doing things, but the journey of building yourself to that point and all the hard work that you put in, and each step, each office is a little bit different, but you put in that work, you get to own that when I was in this office, our lodge did this, and it was from my hard work. I get that good feeling.
I agree.
I concur.
I do.
All right. Tyson, take us back to what you were thinking when you were a mentor and being mentored at the same time.
I was being mentored by Dave Workman Jr. Shout out to him. He was very patient with me, and he was very cordial and accepting. I was very hard-nosed. I always had a plan whenever he came over to my house, and we'd go over ritual. And I would have a bunch of questions for him, not only about ritual, but just as masonry as a whole and what his perspective was. And it was a great perspective of saying, okay, I can take lessons from him and then apply it to myself, and not only apply it to myself, then in turn hand it down to my mentees. And so it was, that was kind of what happened. You know, I was kind of utilizing some of the same things that he was doing to Kalian, even though I didn't have a 100% plan. I'm not like that. I don't have like a syllabus or anything like that. But it's showing up. It's being willing to answer the questions that you know the answers to. And then if you didn't know the answers to that, like, hey, let's learn it together.
Well, and I thinking of that and the way that you are, there's a lot of strength in the key to being a good mentor is to make it not be about you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, to take that time, as you're talking about Dave doing, that it wasn't about him and what he knew. It's about what you need to know and getting there. And kind of, I've seen mentors that weren't the best mentors, that I'm going to show you what I know and spit out a bunch of facts, as opposed to allowing your mentee to ask the questions, to explore the subjects.
Yeah, and it's important to, again, I've already mentioned it before, is understanding that you're always the student, even though you might be the mentor in the relationship. That mentee can teach you things.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Just so you know, Mr. Producer, that chair is very noisy.
Yeah, it is.
Quit moving.
Sorry.
Quit talking. Can you quit breathing?
Is that what I've been hearing? I thought that was my breathing through the nose or something like that.
No.
I was like, is that every time it's on an inhale?
All right, Tyson. What habits help you stay disciplined?
The habits that keep me disciplined. Well, habits they can be your best friend or your worst enemy. And so, the habits that I try to develop that keep me disciplined are memorization of ritual, also taking the time to meet Kalian and to explore new different ways to think about things, and that it excites me a lot, hearing his perspective. And really other habits are, it's that 24-inch gauge, dedicating your time, understanding that you have so much time. Because when we think about masonry, we think about social health, but we don't talk about that all that much. We talk about mental health and emotional health, but we don't talk about social health all that much. And I think that's one of the things that we can improve in masonry, is really talk about social health, being face to face with our brothers and individuals, understand how we act, understand our emotions, because there might be some times that I'm tired or I'm angry, not necessarily at that individual brother, but just in life as general, understanding that it's his time and it's valuable to me, and I should treat it as such. And so really it's about maintaining your discipline on time. So again, that 24-inch gauge.
That's right.
So we talked about your current situation, stepping into the senior ward, and you mentioned that you might be a master-elect in the future. What kind of leader do you want to become?
That's a great question, and I can answer explicitly as a servant leader. I'm always here to serve others. If I don't like barking orders, and I don't like telling people how to do their job. I just want to ask, hey, I'm needing X, Y, and Z. Can you provide that for me? And let that individual find their own way on providing X, Y, and Z. So I don't really care on the road on how you get there, but I care about the outcome.
I got one last question for Kalian. You going through the line someday when you reach Master Mason? Any plans to sit through the line of officers?
Oh, yes. Yes.
What do you think that
The
looks like?
answer is yes.
all the way through Master? Is that a goal? Be Master of the Lodge someday?
Actually, it's not a goal. I'm willing to be wherever I'm needed because I'm just that type of person.
Fantastic answer.
Nice.
Which the servant leadership
Yep.
idea, that's exactly what we need.
Okay.
Yep. That's what I did this. What are you staring at me for? That's what I did.
Well, that was your last question.
Yeah, I was.
So
It's just open discussion now.
Oh, what do you want to just talk about?
are we doing open discussion?
We'll just-
We're going to
That's
take
what
another
was
break.
next.
We'll just. Oh, you want to take a break real quick?
I don't care.
All right,
I'm
let's take
asking
a break.
you. All right.
All right. Hey, James, take us out again.
This is the greatest podcast in the world. For the Masons, by the Masons. Studio 357.
Hi, listeners. I'm Brother Samuel.
I'm Brother Gabriel,
And I'm Brother Ryan.
and we're the hosts of the Third Degree Masonic Podcast. We hope you're enjoying Studio 357 as much as we are. If you're looking for further knowledge on Masonic topics, then check us out on the same platforms as Studio 357. And remember, craftsmen,
Keep your working tools in order.
And always be on the level.
now let's get back to Studio 357.
And we're back.
Well, we'll end that conversation.
Thank you. That's why we're back. All right. So we've reached the open discussion portion of our show. I thought it'd be kind of cool, since you guys have such a unique mentor-mentee experience and the stage of where you're both at in Masonry, kind of explain to people, like, what, like somebody may be listening to this or watching this, what's some of the techniques you guys do to, like, what works for you, what didn't work for you, how did you have to change, how did your guys' relationship evolve?
Yeah, what's the
Just kinda-
process?
Yeah.
I think first we started out with the booklet that was provided. We did the Entered Apprentice booklet, and we also did the Fellowcraft booklet. But after that, it's like, well, okay, how can we connect our daily life to Masonry? So it evolved away from the booklet more to conversation. And so we would talk about what we would do, kind of how our week was, or 2 weeks that we were apart. And once after the discussion started rolling, I would start pointing out, oh, it connects to X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
That's here in Masonry. And one of the things that we discussed, Keeling and I usually go for coffee now, usually on Sunday mornings. We walk to various different coffee shops around the Scottish Rite. There's about 4 or 5 of them within walking distance, regardless of the construction. But we get around that, and we have coffee, and our discussions could range from many different types of things. Usually I start off with how's life, and then I start talking about my life, and I'm starting talking about the things that I'm learning. For instance, when I gave the education for a lodge last Thursday, really one of the things that I've learned was, with the advent of all this anti-Freemasonry on YouTube, my emotions are starting to moderate a little bit. In introspection, I'm using the compass to circumscribe my desires. And I thought about that, and I was like, wow. I was like, I'm really, applying some of the principles of Masonry to my everyday life. But moving on from that, you mentioned that you really are inspired by King Solomon and Ecclesiastes.
Mm-hmm.
And what inspires you most about that?
Ooh. What inspires me, King Solomon was one heck of a man. No, he wasn't perfect, but instead of asking for riches and, material things, like, he wanted wisdom so he could govern the people, understand a lot of things. And he was on record to be the wisest man that ever lived in the world. And so I took hold of his teachings, because I believe I got a lot out of his teachings. And with Ecclesiastes, understanding that, hey, there are certain things in life that you can't change. What's crooked stays crooked. What's straight stays straight. Like, so you understanding that you're limited within the jurisdiction of being a human, being a man, then it makes you appreciate things. It makes you.
And we experience that quite a bit in our daily lives, right? Like,
yes.
For instance, some things might come off as very unfair.
That's right.
And you might get into certain situations where you're not, it feels like the world is against you in everything that you're trying to do. But what you do is you try to reflect within yourself that sometimes there are circumstances that you can't control, but there are things that you can control, and to focus on what you can control.
Absolutely.
And I think with Solomon's wisdom, he was focusing on what he was able to control, which was a lot. I mean, he was the king. And so of Judea at the time, or as I don't know what the country was at the time, but and wisdom
Israel.
is such a wisdom is such a great thing to have, but it's a part of having perspective with wisdom and understanding that what can apply to one person may not apply to another.
That part. And when things don't go right as you planned them, don't get discouraged. Instead, look at all the different joys that you have in your life.
Yes.
Whether that's your friends, your family, your brothers, what you can control and what you can be happy and satisfied with. Focus on that. And
I totally agree, because in my faith, what turned me towards more of a communal life was, I built, but I supposedly feel that I built my treasures in heaven as a hermit, and I was 160 or 180 to round, and said, well, what are the treasures in heaven can you build with other people? And that is the memories, the time spent together. It's not necessarily sad or happiness. It's not necessarily anger, frustration, or joy, but it's just the time that we spend together. Those memories become our treasures that we have together.
yes, it does.
As
we are, and I think it's brave of you to go on that journey as a hermit, because you really took the time to reflect and know who you are, and seeing what gifts you can give to someone else you were led to Masonry to help someone in need and others in need, and you came and you helped me, and I'm forever grateful for that. I'm like,
and I think the same applies to you, because being introvert, I'm an introvert, and so we share that same path of social anxiety, and just nervousness, and always trying to be able to come up with it feels like it's a performance, right? And then it feels like you drop the ball and you're like, oh, I screwed it up. And you're just like, and you get frustrated and you get confused, and with Masonry, it's like, hey, it's okay to, you can swing for the fences, and you may not hit a home run every single time, but be appreciative for, those base hits. And whether if it's Masonic education in our lodge on Beehive 184, I can hit some pretty big ones in education, but the other ones are kind of, this probably could have done a better job, Tyson. But, I think that in time we develop ourselves to become better educators, better men.
Absolutely. We're here. That's what we're here for.
Right.
To be our greatest self. We only get one life. And that's about, on average, 70 years. You know, it's not like it used to be when, I mean, in the Bible, people lived 900 years. I'm like, God, just give me 300 years at least. But in this short amount of time,
You might not say that if you thought about where I work. So I want to retire before 300 years.
Oh, no. My hopeful for every brother in here is that we make it to at least 99 now, you know, and I think what we're implementing is being health conscious right now. So that's why we walk to these coffee shops, because we're like, well, you know, our social health is important, our mental health is important, you know, and our physical health is very important. And those walks, you know, do just enough to kind of keep us motivated and keep us on. Like, hey, we can't forget, like, this body is a temple. You know, we must take care of ourselves.
Everything is connected.
We can take care of each other. You know, so.
And that, it's so important to focus on the time that we spend to our activities, whether it's exercise or to our faith. Spend time at your church and your church community. Spend time with your brothers in Masonry and the Masonic community. And it all comes together in one beautiful picture. It's just you can't see it always. You know?
No, and what did I tell you when we were having coffee? Is like, what you can't see is stronger than what you can see, and you know, that's the whole element of faith. You know, like, so understanding we're going to be faithful to what we can't see, understanding that God is in control of the unseen. You know. And we go into these very deep conversations, and that's what makes our mentorship so special.
I'm sitting over here going, we should just be having lodge at the coffee shop and listening to these two.
You ain't shitting, turd. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's something special.
And I was getting the feeling that we're out of a job. We should have just let them take off, and we wouldn't even have to do the podcast.
I know.
Your cue
I
right
would,
there.
I've always thought about all the conversations that Kayleen and I have would be. Some of them are definitely podcast worthy. Yeah, I think so. I really do. Not necessarily Studio 357, because you guys got a great thing going on here with fellowship and brotherhood and coming together and just having a good time, laughing, and, you know, giving each other grief. You know, just, you know, it shows love in a very different way. And with Keelan and I, we show love with we'll bounce different ideas off of each other. We don't really go down the esoteric side. We can sometimes, but it's kind of shallow in that point, because we're just really more focused on humanity.
Yes.
Being human.
And
what's important in being human is being kind and being neighborly. And you know, share. You can share your faith if you want to when it's not in lodge. So sometimes we do talk about religion and politics, but it's never from a position of mine is better than yours.
No,
it's really coming from a position of understanding.
Yeah.
And how it shapes our perspectives. And so when a situation comes up or a topic comes up, whether, you know, it's contemporary or whether if it's politics or religion, we'll still talk about it. But you know, it's interesting when you get other people's perspectives.
Yeah. Guys, it was an absolute pleasure talking to you. If anybody out there listening, if you don't know these guys, you're missing out. I'm telling you, we're very lucky to have you in our lodge. You guys are lucky to have each other, and the lodge is lucky to have this relationship that you guys have, because it's a model for success.
It is. You know, it goes beyond friendship. It's almost like it's an understanding. Yeah, it's like, it's it's hard to put a thumb on it. It's a very intangible thing.
Right.
Well, listening to you guys has got me really excited for an upcoming Master Mason degree,
Yeah.
and to see what the next step looks like. How that
You
relationship.
just
changes
wait,
a
brother.
little.
The knowledge is going to hit you from the left, hit you
Wow.
from the right. It's just going to be so full of knowledge, you won't even know what happened.
Wow, that's gonna be great.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it was.
I can't wait.
I remember my Master Mason degree, and it was, I came in with, I had a little bit of an inkling of what was going to happen, mainly because of my curiousness, and I didn't spoil it, but it was like I knew kind of roughly what was going to happen, and I kind of intentionally stayed away from that topic with you, Kaylin, because I think you'll enjoy it very much when you go through it.
Okay.
Yeah, it really is one of the most beautiful ceremonies.
It is very much, and you're prepared for it too, because when you go through it, you're like, yeah, I want to absorb everything that I hear, and it's just a beautiful ceremony, and it's going to be a lot of information that comes your way, but it's always the same. It's like drinking from a fire hose, but that's where you have me and your brothers at Beehive 184. We'll break it down for you when the time comes.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you, brother.
All right, so this brings us to our artifact of the week.
Joe. Oh, no, I'm sorry.
You're the oldest one here, bro.
Oh God.
Ooh.
No,
Right,
I'm in my 40s.
That's
Everybody heard that? I'm in my 40s.
All right, so this is a Shrine Clown decanter.
Cool.
It is, the front is stamped Detroit 1978. Ezra Brooks
My birth year.
liquor bottle. But it is from the Shrine National Convention 104 Imperial Council session in Detroit in 1978.
I'm older than it is.
did those decanters come pre-filled?
That's freaking cool.
They did, yes.
Nice.
Yeah, we've got a couple more decanters that we found, and it still has the tax sticker across the top. Like it was been broke, they're empty, but
So do you know any history on those decanters? Were they sold as fundraisers? Or?
I do not know.
Okay, I'm curious.
They don't do it anymore.
If there is anybody out there that knows, and I'm sure there should be a lot, as young as this piece is, somebody should be able to tell us.
Right. Now, on that note,
Late 1900s.
if you follow us on Facebook, you already know. You can visit Studio 357 MasonicPodcast.com.
We've got a website.
We've got a website.
The 21st
Congratulations.
If they don't get enough of these ugly mugs on
Right.
camera, there's ugly mugs on the website.
Exactly. The homepage.
What a marketing campaign you just put on.
So if you're on a PC, the homepage has all of our tabs at the top for our different pages on the website. I'll just do a quick thing of all of the most important aspects here.
Excuse
You
me.
can either go to the contact page or right on the homepage there's a tab called Be a Guest.
Be a guest.
And that will take you to our contact page, and it'll have 2 Google forms there. You have to click on the form, and then it will open in a Google Doc or a Google form. We have a feedback form and a Be a Guest form. The feedback form can be 100% anonymous. And then obviously, if you want to be a guest, it can't be anonymous because we have to get a hold of you. We have a tab for other great Masonic podcasts that we like to listen to. There we go. I think we've got 6 of them up there. Yep. Those are always really good ones. But we also have an About page, which gives you a little bit about our show and then
Yeesh.
a quick bio of us as hosts and co-hosts and producers. And then we also have a sponsorship tab. Shows our current sponsors and also a form to become a sponsor. Same thing, you click on it and it'll ask you to open it in a Google form. Pretty self-explanatory. Oh, also on the contact at the very bottom is a link to the Grand Lodge of Nebraska. You can click on that, and I'm just going to pull it up here for reference so I don't say the wrong thing. When that page pulls up in the top right, it will say how to become a Mason. That is the quickest and easiest way in Nebraska to get your information to the Grand Lodge, and they will reach out to a lodge that is either close to where you live or close to where you work.
So what happened to me?
Yep. And we will, I promise you, a lodge will reach out and we'll find a good fit for you.
And if they don't, you know where to find us.
Yeah. If you fill something out and a lodge doesn't contact you, contact us. We will guide you in the correct direction. Oh, well, I forgot the most important thing on our website. I was doing all the fun stuff. On our homepage, if you scroll down, there is a button for artifacts. So we have 6 of the big giant Rubbermaid tubs full of antiques.
Six at this time.
Yes. The pictures that we have uploaded are of 1 tub. 2 tubs, sorry. So feel free. It is a link to our Google Photos account. So I believe you cannot comment on them or anything, but you can fill out the feedback form. Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of stuff. As soon as we get to where we can get to our other tubs, the plan is to get everything photographed and indexed and on here. It's quite a process to get them in the photo box, get the lighting just right, get the picture taken, get it uploaded, get it transferred, blah, 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 blah. All the work on the back end that nobody sees.
I will say that what I did break a cup accidentally coming into this podcast, and I feared that it was one of the artifacts that you presented.
It was not.
Thank goodness. It was like,
Oh no.
I'm sorry.
We need to put in some fake artifacts, so if that happens again. God, that was 16th century Ming Dynasty.
Yeah, right?
But there is, this decanter actually happens to be the title picture on that tab. But if you see something in there and you want to know more about it, or if you know something about it, if you have one at home, or if you don't know what it is or whatever, just send us an email or message on Facebook. There's all kinds of ways to get a hold of us.
The website looks great.
Yeah, our producer Heath and I sat down. Once we got the basis started, I think it took us a couple days really to get everything hammered out, get all the links figured out, and then of course we waited 5 days and nothing happened, so we're like, I think we missed something, and we did. So we went back and fixed that part. Now everything works.
Nice.
Like I said, we're not rocket scienticians.
Can we rewind back to when... Oh.
You have any shout-outs, Jay?
Just to these 2 gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure. I've enjoyed every minute of it. I'm probably my favorite by far, to be honest with you, that I've experienced. So I appreciate you too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll give my shout out to someone that is not here tonight, worshipful brother Eric Ben Solemn. This whole installation season, I've seen him 2 or 3 times now.
Yeah, he's a busy dude.
But he's leading. He's making sure everything goes correctly. He is doing the work from memory, which I really appreciate. And he's asking dumb questions that I ask. So the dedication he's shown specifically in this last year to the Grand Custodian, to the role, I appreciate that. And I want him to know that his hard work is appreciated.
Oh, most definitely.
Mm-hmm.
He is. We've become very close friends, and he is my go-to. If I have any kind of question, he's probably sick of me sending him text messages and stuff, but I do it all the time. Your love can be found right here, worshipful brother Eric. My shout out is going to our mysterious listener in Poland. That's all I got. I think it's a watcher. It's on Spotify, I think. That's all I got to say about that. What about you guys?
That contact us form, we'd be curious to learn more.
Yeah. If you're just hit us with the contact form, even just shoot us an email. Let us know where you're listening or watching from. That'd be awesome to hear.
Shout out to my family, my mom, and my siblings. Shout out to my mentor, again, Dave Workman Jr., and a lot of the things that he has instilled into me, I am in turn am blessed with to hand down to Kalian.
Thank you. I want to shout out to Joe, Jim, Jason, and the man right here, Mr. Tyson, one of the greatest teachers in the world. And I want to shout out to the rest of the Beehive 184 members out there. I hope you're watching. Hope you enjoyed the show. And we hope you could come spend time with us and we all be here together as a family. And shout out to those future Masons out there. You don't know you're a Mason, but you're out there. Shout out to you. We're waiting. Come see us.
We find that they're Masons long before they knock on the door.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
I have one last emergency shout out.
Emergency.
So my mentor happens to be Dave Workman Jr. as well. And we've been best friends for a long time. And life has kind of taken us in different avenues. So we haven't seen as much of each other, haven't talked a lot. He came over the other night, and we had a phone call that was fairly lengthy, and then he came over and BS'd at the house for a while. And it was just good to kind of catch up and feel that love again. So
Good.
I appreciate you, Dave. I miss having you around. I know we're both busy doing our own thing, but it is what it is. I love you, brother. All right, I think that's it. That was a good show. You guys satisfied? Should we start over?
Oh.
Oh, I thought that was a practice round.
Yeah, a practice round. Okay, you guys ready to do it for real?
Yeah,
All right,
sure.
let's go.
I didn't hit record. Just kidding. Hey, producer Heath, who's our next guest?
Caleb Melisek.
Oh, we're having Caleb
that's
Milosek. And we will have worshipful brother Eric Bensala here for that one. And he is part of Mercer Lodge.
Ooh.
Caleb is. So Caleb is I think he just aged out of DeMolay. So he's got a kind of unique perspective on Masonry as well. So catch us on the next episode. Until then, travel well, my brothers.
Travel well.
Take us out, James. One last time.
This is the studio you know. Got what you came here for. 184 Iron Core. See you next time in the studio.
Awesome.
I can't do anything right now. All right, we'll see you guys. When it comes to something as important as insurance, it's imperative that you work with an agency who has an in-depth knowledge of multiple insurance products, companies, and guidelines, not just one. We are completely independent agents, and we work for your best interests. We are Mason-friendly. We have locations in Fremont and Elkhorn. We provide policies for virtually all of your personal and commercial needs, including health and dental. Visit our website at www.theinsurancecenterinc.com. We're available Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
At Homeward Handyman Services, we pride ourselves on being honest and giving every job the attention it deserves. Owned and operated by a master mason with 2 decades of expertise in home repair. We are bonded and insured, and we carry the highest standards when it comes to taking care of your home. Whether you need a faucet changed or a light remodel, we can take care of your home improvement needs. Call Michael at 402-915-0824 today for a free estimate.